Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for this next installment of the Northwest Chamber of Commerce Member Interview Studio Sessions. Joining us today is the general manager of one of my favorite local spots for happy hour and dinner, John Linderman from Glyndon Grill. Hi, John.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's been really nice. Even during the pandemic, we have spent some time seeing John at Glyndon Grill. So if you guys are ever in the market for a cocktail or some good food, I hope you'll visit him as well. All right. Well,
yeah, you guys are great. We appreciate all the support that you all have shown. The chamber's fantastic. You individually are great. Your team's great. So love being here today. Love promoting the chamber, and we appreciate everything that you guys do for us.
Thank you. Well, we continue to do that, and we look forward to the next year with you guys.
Awesome.
Well, we're excited to get to know a little bit more about you personally. So we will get started. All right. What is it that first got you into the world of management?
Let's see. Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I was working in the restaurant business through college, and I liked it. And I kind of I guess a lot of us get sucked into it. And so I was bartending and waiting tables and bartending, doing things of that nature. And I had worked in kitchens. And quite frankly, I got tired of like variable income, inconsistent income, because it was all tips. So I decided that I liked the restaurant business enough that I thought I would make it a vocation. And I honestly wanted a consistent paycheck. I just wanted to be able to kind of budget what I wanted to do. So I started off in restaurant management, and my first salary was $16,000 a year, but at least I could count on it. Yep. And I really like the business of restaurants because I think by nature, I'm a people person. I like the hospitality aspect of it. And managing a restaurant, I like because I get to kind of do a little bit of everything every day. So instead of just bartending or just cooking or just hosting, I get to kind of manage each little area, and it kind of keeps me engaged. And then as a general manager, I was looking to become a general manager because I thought it was more of a career path and I could make more money. But general managing, it brings into really the aspect of the business side of our restaurants. And since I went to school and studied business and economics, things of that nature, I really like that aspect of the business in addition to all the hospitality and people piece and the fun of cooking and the artistic nature of it and everything and the dynamics of it. At the end of the day, I really like sitting down and kind of diving into the business side of it. It's almost like playing chess. Well, if we do this, how do we do that? And if we do this, how does that affect that? And, at the end of the day, the profitability and the sales is basically a report card to me as to how we're doing. If we're building sales and we're building profits, we're probably taking care of guests. And that's what's
all
fun.
That strategic planning, and you can kind of put all your passions into it. So that's great.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it kind of ties into our next question about what you love most about your field, but I feel like it's probably so different every day in your business that it just keeps it also pretty fresh.
Well, what's interesting is in order to run a restaurant effectively, you're essentially doing the same thing every day. We come in, the first thing we want to do is kind of make sure that our food is correct. So we'll do a line check, we'll do a walk-in check, we'll taste for quantity and quality and make sure things are right, ordering effectively, staffing correctly. So there's a routine to every day. Right. But that routine, within that routine, changes because you're dealing with the public. So table 51 today from 11 to 1 can be completely different than table 51 from 1 to 2. And so you're getting different experiences and talking to different people. I think that when I was a younger manager, one of the things that I learned was I was working for TGI Fridays, and we went down for a management skills seminar. I think I was in my early 20s. I wasn't a GM yet. I was an assistant manager. And they took us to one of their units. They took us to Plano, Texas, one of their units. And we all sat in different areas of the restaurant. And the group that I was with, we actually sat at the bar. And then we had another group of 4 sitting at a table and another group over here. And at the end of the dining experience, we all got together and we talked about it. Ours was fantastic. The bartender was great. The food was great. The atmosphere was great. It was timed right. It was fantastic. One of the tables had a miserable experience. Server wasn't good, food wasn't right, blah, blah, blah. So here we are. And the lesson I learned there is here we are in the same restaurant at the same time, having completely different experiences.
Yeah.
And so, for me, I think, like you said, there is a routine to every day, but every single minute of every single day is a little bit different somehow. And a guest sitting over here can have a completely different experience than a guest sitting over here. So our job is to make sure as managers that the experience is good on both tables.
That's an interesting way to look at it. I've never really thought of it that way, but totally different experiences just based on the situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So over the course of your career in the restaurant business, has there been a favorite moment that you've experienced?
Favorite moment. I think that the restaurant business is a lot like playing golf. You go out and you play golf, and if you can hit 3 great shots, you're coming back, and out of the 72 shots, or in my case, the 120 shots, if I can hit 4 or 5 good ones, it keeps you coming back. So I don't know if I can isolate one overwhelmingly popular experience with me, but what I can tell you is that during the course of my career, I have had moments that you just leave work that day and you're like, that was really a fulfilling shift. We executed perfectly in every facet of it. We took care of people and we did a good job.
Yeah.
One of my mantras is I tell the staff, make their day. I want us to make somebody's day every day, whether you're making a colleague's day, whether you're making a purveyor's day, whether you're making a guest's day. Make somebody's day. So that's kind of what we look towards. I have an interesting story that's kind of heartwarming. I'll try to be brief on it, that I fall back on that really grounds me in our industry. One of the concepts I was working for years ago had a big deal about holiday gift certificates. They wanted to sell holiday gift certificates, good for the business, good for the guest. And so, we would have these volume of people coming in at all times trying to buy gift certificates, and sometimes it would be at an inconvenient time. Mm-hmm. Well, this one morning I'm working, and this guy comes in, short guy, heavy set, not the best looking guy. And I'm in the middle of something. I can't remember what it was. And he comes in, he wants to get a gift certificate. And he only wanted to buy one for $20. My God, $20 gift certificate, my God, right? And he's chatting me up, and I'm really busy. And he's telling me how, he comes in and he gets a gift certificate to my restaurant because it's one of his favorites. And it's also his sister's favorite restaurant.
Aww. And
that every year he gives his sister and her husband a gift certificate to Carrabba's, that's where I worked, for $20. And he said, and I'm like, okay. And he goes, and in addition to that, I go and get them a movie ticket. I'm like, okay. So you get a movie ticket and this and that. And he goes, and the other thing I do is I babysit for my niece that night. And so it's as much of a gift for me as it is for my sister and her brother, because they get to go out and have a date night, and I get to spend the evening with my niece. And I just lost it. Yeah. And I walked away from that thinking, God, man, slow down. Look at this story. And it dawned on me right then and there that gift card is his Christmas gift. Is his Christmas gift to his sister, right? Yeah. And we need to make sure that when people bring those gift cards back, that we deliver a great experience, because that's their gift.
Right.
And if we don't deliver a great experience, we just messed up somebody's Christmas gift. And how often, when you go buy a Christmas gift for your little niece or nephew or whoever, right? And they open it up and it's a great toy, but there's no batteries in it. Yeah. It's not a great Christmas gift, right? We kind of ruined the Christmas gift because we didn't deliver the Christmas gift. And so that for me has always been a very grounding story. And I tell it every single holiday year whenever we do gift cards, that you need to realize that gift certificate is somebody's gift to somebody. And so I guess to answer your question, that's probably one of my favorite stories, because I think that's what our restaurant business is about. It's about taking care of people. It's about giving them an experience, making their day.
I love that. And you're a part of someone's special night out, for someone who might not go out all the time, they choose your restaurant. I know I always do. And it's a nice thing, to be a part of a good experience like that.
Well, I also tell people, think about when people come in and they're celebrating a birthday or an anniversary or whatnot. Somebody comes in and they're celebrating their 35th wedding anniversary with you. How can you not feel honored?
Right.
That they're taking something that's so important to them. that it could be a routine for us, right? We're waiting on, 50 tables tonight, but that one table, that's their 35th wedding anniversary. That's a big deal to them. And how we treat them tonight, they're going to remember. They're either going to remember it was great or they're going to remember it was bad. And we want to make sure that their 35th wedding anniversary, that they've honored us with their presence, is fantastic. So that's kind of my shtick.
Thank you for sharing that. I love
You're welcome.
that. Especially as we approach the holidays too. That's a good story to share.
Yeah.
So you've already said the make their day bit, and I think that's a great thing, especially to share with your team every day and to make that a daily goal. But is there a favorite word in your vocabulary that motivates you guys, or something that you like to share with other people?
I really think if I had to sum it up in one word, it has to be hospitality. You have to have it in your core to want to take care of people, to be of service to people. People come into a restaurant and they're looking for a good time for the most part. They're looking to have some fun and enjoy themselves. And we need to deliver an experience, and the servers and the cooks need to want to do that, want to take care. It has to come from your heart. You can't really fake that. I remember years and years and years ago, I was not in the restaurant business and I was working in a hospital, and my job was with the environmental services department, and we ran around and we checked on cleanliness, things of that nature. I hated that job. Those people who do that, I respect so much, because it's a very challenging job, but it's not inherently fun. Nobody really goes to the hospital to have a good time, unless you're going to the, unless you're having a baby, you're probably not going to the hospital with, to have a good time. There's something wrong. And for me, I really enjoy being around people and delivering a fun, exciting experience. So I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about that industry. And like I said before, I really respect people who are in it, because it's really, really challenging, because a hospital usually isn't a very uplifting experience. Right. And I like having an uplifting experience. And that's what I think restaurants are all about. Yeah.
And I know the atmosphere is always a good time, and it probably is nice to see people in that element. Yeah. Is there a sound or a noise that you love to listen to while you're working? I know you guys always have music, or is there a sound or noise that you prefer?
I don't really have a sound or noise that I prefer, but I have a lot of them that I don't. If the fire alarm system goes off, I do not like that sound.
Right.
But no, I wouldn't say there's a particular sound or whatnot that I enjoy more than ever. I just like the whole thing. When the whole package comes together, the music is right, the lighting's right, the people are right, the atmosphere's right. It's just very fulfilling for me. Yeah.
Well, those are great answers. I like that. Okay, last two questions, a little bit more about you and some lessons to give to those watching. Okay. Is there a profession other than your own that you would have liked to attempt at some point?
100%. I would love to have probably been a professional airline pilot. My dad is retired from United, and I did get my private pilot's license, but my eyes aren't perfect. I wanted to fly for the Navy is really what I wanted to do, but my eyes weren't good enough to do that. Hindsight being 2020, I do miss the fact that I didn't serve our country. I have a lot of respect for those of service. Maybe that's why I'm in kind of the service industry, but I have a lot of respect for our military. And I had it in my head that I wanted to fly airplanes for the Navy. So I didn't really look at any other opportunities available to me in the military. And that's probably one of the things I wish I had done. But hindsight, I've always loved aviation. I have a lot of friends in aviation, and I love flying airplanes. I wish I could do it more, but it's something that I grew up. I mean, when an airplane flies overhead, I'm always looking at it. So
that's interesting. It's good. I like that. Yeah. And I guess last, the most important question that we always find in feedback that we love: what is the one business lesson that you wish you would have known prior to starting your career?
One business lesson. That's a good question. I don't know if I have the answer to that yet. Yeah. I think, okay, I'm going to redirect that. Not prior to my career, but currently. Okay. I have learned a lot through COVID. COVID has taught me that we need to learn and always be aware of how we can adjust our business. There are things that we have done at Glyndon Grill and within our own restaurant company that we would never have thought to do, or never thought possible, or maybe never even attempted, but we were forced to do that with COVID. You know, as you're well aware, because we've talked about it, Glyndon Grill has always been a sit-down, glass china plate restaurant, right? We did offer carry out, but it was not the main driver of our business. As soon as COVID hit, we did not have the opportunity to take care of guests inside the restaurant anymore. We couldn't seat guests. How are we going to run that business? How am I going to keep managers and cooks and servers employed? How are we going to take care of their families? And so we very quickly had to become a carry-out restaurant, which we never were before. We took all of our plates in China, put it away. We bought to-go packaging. We figured out how to handle all that volume of business and had to reconfigure our kitchen and our line. So I guess in answer to your question, I think we always need to be looking for how we can adjust our business to better serve the community, how we can adapt our businesses to the needs of the community, which is always changing, and not be so reluctant to try things.
Right. It's a very good lesson. And that's probably one of the best answers I've gotten for that question so far, and even relating it to COVID, because it's totally new business lessons that we're all learning. I remember you guys being so creative, and in May stopping in and you were working on Mother's Day boxes and, you know, working on all those creative approaches. And it really is. I mean, we've all learned a lot during this time.
I mean, look at us right now. We're doing a Zoom call, right? How many people had Zooming? How many even people had heard of Zoom, you know, prior to COVID? And I think that business model for meetings is crossing many of our industries. I mean, from the corporate world to the restaurant world to many different things. The one thing that will never change, though, in the restaurant business, I think, is people do like to be around people. I can tell you that when we were simply doing carry out and we didn't have guests in the building, I missed it. I probably missed it more than I thought I would. And I remember when we first were able to open up to outside dining, a couple days into it, we had finally readjusted, and I had been focused so much on how we were going to keep the business moving that I didn't really realize how much I missed being around people. And I remember driving home 2 or 3 days into the outside dining thing going, wow, I really missed guests in the building. It's been a very interesting time. And I think that people talk about, you know, I want to get back to new normal, or to normal, or what the new normal is going to be. There's going to be a new normal.
Right.
The way we run our businesses is going to be different. But I do hope that we can get back to more, you know, face-to-face interactions with people, and because that's kind of what I like.
Me too. Me too. Well, John, thank you so much for a great interview. It was so nice to talk to you. We'll definitely be in soon. And anyone else who is looking for a good night out, please visit John at Glyndon Grill. Thank you, John.
We appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I'm going to give you guys a plug. The Northwest Chamber is fantastic. Everybody who's a member, I hope that you will continue to support the Chamber. And anybody who's not, that's going to see this, I hope that you will consider joining. I have been invited to be parts of chambers for many, many years in the restaurant business. And you know that I'm reluctant to do it. But we did it with you guys, and it has been a very positive experience. And you guys do a fantastic job.
Thank you. We appreciate that so much. Well, we will see you soon. We'll be having our holiday party with John at Glyndon Grill, and we're looking forward to a great night out, and we know that it'll be memorable. So thanks again.
Thanks a lot. I hope you have a great day. Have a great week.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
You too.